Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm your host today, Mr. Mobile, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a map voting system where you get a gun at the start of the game, you get to shoot one of the buttons, the gun disappears, countdown ends, you get a random weapon to fight with, and you actually teleport there and it tells you the message. So that is what we're going to be doing today. So let me just get into it. So I've already got it built. I'm going to go over each individual step, what to start off with, what to end with, and then that shall be the end. So what you're going to need for this tutorial, you're obviously going to have spawn pads for the spawn. That's pretty simple. But let's go into devices here and let's simply go down the list. So you're going to need a HUD message device. You're going to need an item granter. You're going to need a timed objective. You're going to need a team settings and inventory device. You're going to need triggers. You're going to need a sequencer, and that is basically it. Now once you've got all those, you're going to want to start off here with this here timed objective, and basically I'm just going to explain all the things I've changed. So you're obviously going to want to start on game start because that'll actually tell you how long you have to vote for a map. The time, you can put that to whatever. I would most likely put it 30 seconds, but just so it's quick for the video I have it at 15 seconds, but personally I think it's quite long enough. The timer label, this is what appears then up on the top here. So as you've seen, it said choose a map with a counter going down it. You can put that on it just so you can tell the user what it's going to actually do. And I have it on when completed transmit on channel 1 just to make things easy, because it's the only thing transmitted to that. And you're also guys going to need these guys. I didn't see them here, so let me find them for you. It's this here, the perception trigger. You're going to need some of those as well. Now, once you've got that set up on channel 1, you're going to have the sequencer. The sequencer will be looping infinite times with the fastest tempo. This is just to get it quickly done over with. The length is 0.5. This makes it nice and short, and that's what we want to make it even quicker. And it's going to be toggle pulse on/off. Now start sequence from receiving from, we're going to put that on 1 because it will start when the timer is up, and that's what we want. And stop sequence from receiving from is from channel 8, and this is so when it chooses a map it will stop, choosing the rest of the maps. Now once you've got that set up, that's basically it done. Now you just need to set it up so you can actually vote a map. Now here we have some buttons that look like this and it says the map name and all, but we've got some triggers here covering it. So if we go into the trigger here, this is the first trigger by the way, and I've got it triggered by damage. Put this on so it triggers when you shoot it, and you don't need this one on. I don't know why I have that on, but visible in game no, and then make it so it takes damage when it is invisible, and it transmits on channel 2. Then of course this one transmits on channel 3, this one transmits on channel 4, and if you ever want to add any more, you just put it on an open one. So you could put that on channel 5 if you really want to, but I have it on 13 because I already used channel 5. But now we've used those, we're going to come over here. Can you please stop? Okay, now we've got that stopped flashing. So let's go on to these triggers here. Now the very bottom one is the pirate ship map, and what I've changed here is triggered by damage. You don't really need these on, okay? You just need it so it triggers when a sequencer sets it off. But transmit every 17 triggers. So it depends on this one. So this map can support 16 people, so that's why I've got it on 17. So let's say your map has 8 people, you're going to put this on 9, or 7 people in your map, you're going to put it on 8, 12 people in your map, you're putting it on, guess it, yep, it's 13. And that's simply because if all 12 people in your map vote for it, it won't automatically start that map because this will still pick the next map. You're going to want it one more so this still picks it, and that's basically why you've got one extra on it. The sound and VFX, you're going to want to disable those so you don't hear them going off every time this goes past it. take damage while invisible. You don't need that either, it's just because I copy and pasted the buttons over. But trigger when receiving from channel 2, that is the pirate ship button. So when you shoot it, it will transmit a signal to this trigger. And then once this activates, it will transmit on channel 5. And then the next button would be channel 3 and channel 6. And then channel 4 and channel 7. And then this one, which was channel 13, I've put that to channel 14. And you can just keep adding up depending on that. I'm sure you can figure it out. But then let's go on to these. So as you can see, these are all set up to channel 8, and that's because this is set to channel 8. And what we've got changed here is triggered by that. Okay, you understand we do not need these because we're not going to be reacting with these with players. But anyway, trigger sound and VFX also disabled. But this here, trigger when receiving from channel 5, and when it's triggered to transmit on channel 8. This one here is transmit on from channel 6, transmit on from channel 7, and transmit on from channel 14, and they all transmit on channel 8, which will stop the sequencer. And do not put any delays on these with 1 second or anything, because that could really mess up. And also guys, if you make this, make sure they are set at this kind of line here. It's because if you set them up like right up straight, this will choose every single map if it's a tie or if nobody votes or anything. But anyway, now you're going to need the HUD message device. Place anywhere, doesn't really matter. And this is so it says what map was chosen. So when channel 5 is transmitted on, pirate ship was chosen, then turtles was chosen, channel 6, channel 7, the beach was chosen, and then channel 14, Kev's Islands were chosen. So now we've got that all set up, let's go on to the perception triggers. So I think it's this one I've done first. Okay, so here we are in the perception triggers now. Now make sure these are facing above the thing, and also make sure if I jump out here that the entire kind of spawn area fits inside those spheres. But anyway, this is the first one. It enables channel 5, or enable when receiving from channel 5. It's obviously not going to be visible, and enable in game start is on disabled. So if pirate ship is chosen, it will enable this, and when device sees a player, it will transmit on channel 9. And these are all the same, it's just enable when receiving from channel 6, but trigger transmit 9, enable from channel 7 when device sees a player, transmit 9, and enable when receiving from 14, and when player is spotted, transmit on channel 9. And what those are basically connected to is portals on the kind of maps. So I'm going to show you the pirate ship one. I'm not going to show you the other portals because as you can see they are invisible, and I'm going to have to spot this little particle effect here. I just know where they are on this map, so it's a lot easier for me. But basically just make them invisible. You can make them visible if you want to, but I just basically don't because it's a lot better looking. But put this one to team 2 depending on what if island it is you want, or if there is just one spawn, don't bother with the team thing, just have it set on all if you want everyone to spawn in a specific spot. But teleporter, rift visible and all that is no, so you can see all that. But teleport to when receiving from channel 9 and enable when receiving from channel 5. So when the pirate ship map's chosen, it will turn these teleporters on, and then when the perception triggers see a player, it will teleport the player to this teleporter. And then I've got one over here somewhere, if I can spot it, right here, but it's just set to team 1, so it spawns in team 1 and it's got the same settings. But let's just go over here to maybe one of the other islands and we show you another portal. So this one is the team 1 one, but it enables when receiving from channel 6, and that is the turtle one, and then the portal over here would be the team 2 portal. Lastly, if you don't want the random weapons, you're going to want to place down the team settings and inventory and put a wee gun in it, most likely a silenced pistol because it's nice and quiet, and you don't even change any of the settings in here, just leave it the way it is and put that weapon in there. Once that is done, you're going to want to get some kind of item that will not give the user any kind of like extra abilities while they're sitting in here. So I just give them the stink bags here and they drop them anyway. You can put money in this if you want to, or a flashlight or anything like that. But basically, go into here, give extra ammo, no. and we're going to actually do the one over here. So give extra ammo, no, and grant item when receiving from channel 2. And channel 2 is the trigger that is on the pirate ship button, so when the player shoots this, it will transmit on channel 2 and will wipe everything in the triggered player's item, so you clear inventory, and it will give the current item, which is the stink bomb. This one here though is a bit different. It's channel 3, channel 4, and once again channel 13. And that is basically the entire voting system done. This here was basically just a random weapon chooser, so if you wanted to do that, you could get the random number generator, which is at the bottom here, the random number generator, and set it up so it's at 18 seconds, not 15 seconds, because you'll get the weapon early, and then you'll be able to kill people in the spawn, which is not what you want. So put it maybe about 3 seconds extra, because of the way this system works. And then you can set all these up, audio no, and activate on game start, because the counter is also activated on game start. Or you could actually make it instantly choose one once the counter over there is also set up. You could basically do that by changing activating game start to no and activating receiving from, and it would be whatever that is, channel 1. Now these here are basically set up to 10, 11, 12 and 15, and these are all the different weapons. So this one here would be channel 10, and that's really the only thing I've done, except receiving to all players, no extra ammo because I've got infinite ammo. And channel 10, this one's channel 11, this one's channel 12, and this one's channel 15. And they basically appear as soon as you get onto the island. Now, if you can leave out of that circle, make sure you put some kind of barrier in the way, because if the player walks past the barrier, those will not pick the player up and they can just keep walking on forever. But anyway guys, that is how you make a map voting system for your players to mess around with, and as I said, it works as simple as that. Just make sure players can't walk behind the board or wherever these triggers are, because they will be able to trigger it, and that could mess the entire thing up. As you see, I was given the stink sack, I have no gun. When this triggers off, that there will go off, it goes triggering through it, and that there also gave me a random weapon, and I appear on Kev's Island. Anyway guys, that is how you make the player voting system for maps and stuff like that. You can use them in other ways as well, like what weapon would you like everyone to have? You could put scars in or whatever. And the way you would do that, instead of putting teleporters down, you would connect them to item granters instead, and it would be give all the players that weapon on that trigger. But yeah, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!